of slow and go stop and go traffic west I-84, 82nd to I-5, and eastbound Sunset still approaching Murray. Lynn Masterson, KEX traffic.
Now, K2 weather. Expect a change for Tuesday afternoon weather. Wetter and windier, 15 to 25 mile per hour wind, and rain mid-afternoon into the evening. Early afternoon highs in the mid to upper 60s, but that will be just briefly. Then a chance of thunder showers overnight into Wednesday. 55 to low for Portland tonight. 63 is all for high tomorrow. In the Storm Tracker 2 Weather Center, I'm Joey.
News Radio 1190 KEX. Available everywhere on our free iHeartRadio app. Now, your chance to win $1,000. Enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Bills. That's bills. Enter it now at 1190KEX.com. Another update less than 30 minutes from now and anytime at 1190KEX.com. Revival Heating and Cooling. Your comfort's reimaged on the web at callrevival.com. Now, it's Plain Buck. News Radio 1190 KEX.
Welcome in, hour number 2, Clay Travis, Buck Sexton Show. Appreciate all of you hanging out with us. Buck is in Taiwan, and I'll read a couple of tweets that he has sent from Taiwan. He is there for this entire week. He will be back on Monday, just FYI. Appreciate all of you hanging out with us. Lots of feedback rolling in on a variety of different topics. We'll get to some of that in the next couple of hours of the show. Senator Mullen of Oklahoma going to be on with us at 2 o'clock, about an hour from now, and then Steve Scalise. We will discuss the potential shutdown that is on the horizon. Not ideal polls, according to the New York Times, on who's going to be blamed if the government shuts down. First of all, should or should not the government be shut down? 65% of all voters say the government should not be shut down. Just 27% of people say it should. 92% of Republicans say the government shouldn't be shut down. 59% of independents say the government shouldn't be shut down. Only 47% of Democrats say it should. This, to me, is just indicative of what's happened to the Democrat Party. They take their cue from the activist 20% that is completely out of touch with everything going on in the world and allow them to dictate all of the choices that they make in the process. So, that is the latest there. We've been talking about Pete Hegseth's big address to the military. Basically, if I had to synthesize what he said, we're putting merit back into the military, and there will be actual physical expectations for both men and women at the highest possible standard. And in the process, we're going to send a message to the rest of the nation that the meritocracy is back as our primary focus in American life. And I would say that's one of the biggest messages that is echoing across the entire Trump 2.0 regime. Trump, I believe, is still talking to the media. He's basically been talking to the media nonstop for 2 straight days. Remember when they would make a big deal about, oh, Joe Biden's going to take a question now, or Joe Biden's going to have a public event now? This has been going on every day, basically, for the entire year of Trump 2.0. And it's easy to forget the fact that we didn't see Biden, that they just hit him. They did a couple of public events. He never took questions. Whenever he took questions, they turned it into a huge, epic story. Meanwhile, Trump is just asking, taking and answering questions on a regular basis. Okay. I told you that I wanted to play a couple of the cuts from my interview with Paul Feinbaum that I did over the weekend. And yesterday, I shared some cuts. Paul Feinbaum, I think, is very likely to run for the Senate from Alabama. But some of you out there spend as much time as I do sitting around wondering how did we end up in a situation where so much insanity is governing everything that happens on a day-to-day basis. And I think much of it came because the left took over culture in this country. I mentioned my extreme appreciation for J.K. Rowling at the end of the last hour of the program here. And I don't even know what J.K. Rowling thinks about a large percentage of the issues going on in the world. But I do believe that she'll acknowledge truth. And that if you can acknowledge truth, I can work with you on other issues. But when you tell me men can become women, or you start referring to women as birthing people, by the way, good luck to my 10-year assistant, Katie, who is right now in labor, having baby number 2. She is phenomenal, helps to keep my work life in order and balance. And she has a baby boy who's 2. Some of you have seen him. He occasionally makes an appearance on the video because she's out at the house frequently. She is a woman having a baby, not a birthing person, but good luck to her. She is in labor right now. I doubt she is listening. There's probably better things for her to be consuming right now than this show, but she is in labor right now. So for those of you who have been through the labor process, maybe lift her up in prayer a little bit. That is a challenge, no matter who you are. Baby number 2 is on the way for her, so that is very exciting for she and her family. But one of the reasons why I love what J.K. Rowling did is she worked in the Hollywood universe, and she was willing to speak truth to that audience around her, even though many of them were made uncomfortable by the fact that she spoke the truth. This is one of the things about speaking the truth. You get attacked when you make other people uncomfortable because you draw attention to their untruth. So that is a reality that is, I think, incredibly significant here. This is what is going on. When you're being attacked like J.K. Rowling is, it's not because you actually have an unpopular opinion. It's because you're saying what they know to be true and forcing them to recognize that they are liars. That's why what she's saying is so powerful. And I've spent a lot of time doing, on a smaller scale, in sports, what J.K. Rowling, I think, has done in pop culture when it comes to speaking truth to people who should know better. And I want to share this cut with all of you, because I did a sit-down with Paul Feinbaum, and I've been talking about this for a long time. The left took over ESPN as part of their attempt to take over sports. Because think about it. If they can get sports fans to say there's no difference between men and women, it's actually heroic for a man to win a women's swimming championship. That's how they take over the whole culture. Because once they can get you to admit something that you know is untrue, then they own you. They have control of your soul. Because once they can get you to say one thing that you know is 100% not true, they can get you to say a second or a third. And they get into the brain and they slowly take it over. And I think it's been intentional to focus on sports. I saw it. I never would have thought that I would be talking to you on this show. Because I was just like sports, like a huge majority of you. I love going to a college football tailgate. I like having drinks. I like gambling on sports. I love my favorite thing. You told me, but you have one day left to live. I would probably say I want to take my family and I want to go to an awesome college football game. And I want to spend the whole day tailgating, and I want to spend the whole day hanging out with them. And then at the end of the day, just say bye. That's probably how I would choose to spend if you told me, hey, you only have one day left that may well be what I would want to do. Celebrate, spend time with the people that I love doing something that we have all shared together. Some of you may think that's crazy. A lot of you out there, I think, can understand. And so it was intentional. And they did it in a very subtle way initially. They only praised left-wing politicians. They had Barack Obama on ESPN all the time in completely unthreatening ways. They had him pick NCAA tournament winners. They had him talk about how much he likes sports. And you say, okay, that's fine. They're going to do that for Republicans too, right? Right? Well, Donald Trump in 2019 wanted to go and did go to the LSU-Alabama football game in Tuscaloosa. It's a big game. Joe Burrow against Tua Tagovailoa. LSU, one of the top teams. Alabama, one of the top teams. I was there. It was a fabulous, electric atmosphere. Paul Feinbaum is one of the top voices in college football. The probably foremost known of all of the SEC networks, the Southeastern Conference, not the Securities and Exchange Commission. Probably the best known of all their employees. And he wanted to do something special for that game. And so he had set up an interview with President Trump. Not to dive into the complexities of politics, just to talk about sports. Just like ESPN had spent 8 years doing with Barack Obama. But guess what? Disney-owned ESPN said, no, we're not going to allow that to happen. We've got a different rule when it comes to Republicans in office than we do Democrats. And I want to play this cut. I've known this was going on for a long time. People have told me about it behind the scenes. Most of them have not said it publicly. I give credit to Paul Feinbaum for saying it publicly with me. This went up, long-form interview if you're interested. You can go check it out on YouTube. I posted the link. Here is cut 3. Listen to this.
I've never said this before, but why am I going to hold this back? I just moved and registered in Alabama, but I am a registered Republican in North Carolina as of this hour, and I was a registered Republican in Alabama before I met her.
And you never said that publicly?
I never discussed politics one single time because it is frowned upon. It's also overall not good business for somebody doing a sports show to go down that lane.
Okay, I'm going to ask you, I'm going to put you in that lane. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
Yeah, but they also tell us not to discuss that.
What do you think would happen if you told ESPN, hey, I'm going to have President Trump on my radio show?
I almost did that one.
What happened?
You remember the 2019 game? LSU and Alabama.
Oh, yeah. He came in. I was there. I mean, that was in the Burrow versus Tua, one of the great college football games of all time.
I reached out to a friend of mine in D.C. He said, you want to get Trump? I said, yeah.
By the way, anyone who has ever hosted a show in the history of mankind that does not want the president, whether it's Democrat, Republican, whoever the hell it is either lying to you or a complete moron. To interject.
So, he said, I was doing a Get Up and First Take in New York 2 days a week. I said, if I'd be in New York on Wednesday, I'd have to come through. He said, I think we could do it at the White House Thursday morning. Can you get there? I said, yeah, I can get there. I'm in New York.
Right.
He said, let me run it down the flagpole. And he said, he texted me back saying, it's looking good. I called my boss, and they killed him.
They killed him. They had Barack Obama all the time on the program, and Feinbaum acknowledged that. All sorts of ESPN programming. They sent reporters into the White House with him on a regular basis. They wouldn't let Trump come on and just talk about going to the LSU-Alabama game. Why? Because people would like him. It would humanize Donald Trump like they spent 8 years humanizing Barack Obama. Disney, ESPN wouldn't let that happen because Trump was a Republican. This is big deal. You know, everybody just focused on, hey, Jimmy Kimmel made a joke, and oh my goodness. How much bigger is it that ESPN wouldn't let Paul Feinbaum interview President Trump before a big game that he was going to attend? Orders of magnitude because of what it represents. They didn't want to treat Trump the exact same as they treated Obama, because culturally they were using sports to try to divide us all, to take us away from the meritocracy and to interject identity politics into sport. Because if they can do that and they control the culture of sport, they get young men, they get young women. They can infiltrate their thoughts and tell them, hey, you know what? It's actually to be celebrated that a man is competing in women's sports. Hey, you know what? It's super racist. Remember when they tried to turn the NFL? They had Colin Kaepernick comparing the NFL draft to a slave market. Man, when you really start looking at it, it's so calculated. It's so intentional. And I just couldn't, once I saw it, I couldn't start fighting it hard enough. That's how I'm sitting here talking with all of you right now. Okay, we've got a couple more cuts we want to play there. We'll dive into it more. We'll also take some of your reactions. Senator Mark Wayne Mullen going to join us, as well as Steve Scalise, both from Capitol Hill, to give us the latest from there in the third hour of the program. But I want to tell you about one of our newest sponsors, Cozy Earth. We're thrilled to welcome them. They make sheets, comforters, duvets, blankets. Product line expands outside the bedroom, too. They also make sweaters, pants, quilted, cozy jackets, more. October begins tomorrow, so go online to CozyEarth.com. Get stocked up on all things cozy this season. We've even gone a little overboard in the Travis household. The number of things that my wife has bought from this website blew my mind. She loves it. Your wife is probably going to love it. Your mom is probably going to love it. And honestly, you'll probably love all these products too. Go to CozyEarth.com. Use my name, Clay, for 20% off all products. That's C-O-Z, Cozy, C-O-Z-Y, Earth.com, code Clay. And you will get hooked up with the best possible products you can buy for your home, because home isn't just where you live, it's how you feel. CozyEarth.com, code Clay. Go get hooked up. You're going to love it. CozyEarth.com, code Clay.
Want to be in the know when you're on the go? The Team 47 Podcast. Trump highlights from the week. Sundays at noon Eastern in the Clay and Buck podcast feed. Find it on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts. Clay and Buck now. Next at noon, Glenn Beck, News Radio 1190 KEX.
This isn't just a game, it's a once-in-a-generation event. The Harlem Globetrotters 100-year tour celebrate 100 years of high-flying dunks, 100 years of show-stopping moves, and 100 years of changing the game. The game is once in a century. Be there.
Bring the whole family and be part of a legacy that never stops. The Harlem Globetrotters 100-year tour, coming to a city near you. Get your tickets today at HarlemGlobetrotters.com. That's HarlemGlobetrotters.com.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com, because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, E-T-H-O-S, ethos.com/Mike.
Summer savings are heating up at Royal Moore Toyota. As Oregon's #1 volume Toyota certified pre-owned dealer, Royal Moore Toyota offers a huge selection of top quality Toyotas. Enjoy transparent pricing, no pressure shopping, and savings passed directly to you. And only at Royal Moore, every new Toyota comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty and 10 years of unlimited roadside assistance, because peace of mind matters. Incredible value, transparent pricing, and total confidence. Only at Royal Moore. Shop RoyalMooreToyota.com today.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?